If you watched my previous video, I talked about how I filmed the Blissey V video, it went well, and then I later discovered the audio was messed up. But since I like the deck, I'm back at it again, giving it another shot. So Blissey V is a card with a ton of potential, especially when you pair it with Porygon-Z. Blissful Blast does 10 base damage plus 30 more for each energy attached to Blissey, and you can attach 3 energy from your discard pile to it after doing damage, and the bonus is that it doesn't have to be basic energy, so you can just fill your deck with special energy. Not to mention the fact that Blissey V has base 250 hit points, 300 with a Cape of Toughness, and it has a chance to be a real problem in Standard. But the thing that keeps it from being tier 1 is the consistency issues. Porygon-Z is the only way to get a consistent damage ramp, but it's a stage 2 and those are notoriously difficult to get up and running. Because of Porygon-Z, I play a 3-1-2 line. I know it's never ideal, but with the consistency issues I've been having, I felt like it was necessary. But because of Porygon-Z, you're going to see a very weird supporter line. I play 2 bosses and then, 7 draw supporters, and some of them aren't even traditional draw supporters. So to explain my thought process, let's go with Peony. Peony, discard your hand and search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, and basically with that, you will discard your hand, go get an Evolution Incense and a Rare Candy. You'll have no hand, but you'll have a Porygon-Z, and you can use Kricketune to either draw 3 cards, or if it's in the active, you can use it to draw 4 cards. So Kricketune works really well with Peony. The problem is that Peony is completely useless if you don't have a Porygon down, so I didn't want to include 2 or 3 copies. And because you don't always want to ditch your whole hand, you play 2 copies of Hapu, look at the 6 top cards of your deck, you put 2 of them into your hand, discard the rest, so that helps you put energy in the discard pile, it helps you get what you need. I mean, sometimes you'll get rid of cards you need because Hapu sucks. But yeah, also play 1 Marnie, 1 Research, and then Erika's Hospitality. This is so good against Eternatus VMAX. They can just fill up their bench. You can be drawing, 8 cards? But most of the time it's probably going to be like 4 or 5. And I like Erika's Hospitality because sometimes you have one of the pieces you need in your hand to get Porygon-Z up and running, and this just draws you cards. It's better than Hop because usually your opponent's going to have some bench Pokemon. So I think Erika's Hospitality works really well on this deck. As for the energy, there is a lot of it. There's 18 total. You play Lucky Energy when this Pokemon is in the active and is damaged by an attack, draw a card. So that's really good because you can put 4 Lucky Energy on a Blissey, it gets hit, you draw 4 cards. And then your next Blissey, you attach 3 from the discard and you get 3 cards to draw, so it's really good. Let's see, up next, Capture Energy, 4 copies of that for sure because it helps you get your Porygon or just whatever you need in a situation. Powerful Energy, the attacks of the colorless Pokemon do 20 more damage, so you put 4 Powerful Energy on a Blissey V, you're doing 80 extra damage. That is insane. Recycle Energy, that is your Retreat. It's Retreat, it goes back into your hand if one of your Pokemon gets knocked out. Again, great. And then Weakness Guard Energy because you have to deal with Urshifu. All in all, Blissey V is a fun deck that has some issues, so let's see how it goes today. And I lost the coin flip, but my opponent decided to go first. So I think I will just save the Mew. I'll have the Blissey down because I don't really know what I'm playing against. I know I'm playing against something with Cinccino. But who knows? Okay, so I prize my Porygon 2. That sucks. And it would be so much better if one of these was a Capture Energy, but it's not. I don't think they're going to hit into me. But I guess if they do, I want to be able to draw. Yeah, so I guess if for some reason they do hit into me with whatever Pokemon they have, I'm going to guess Inteleon. Oh, okay, so it's going to be the Charizard Leon deck that can do 300 damage. So if they get 4 Leon in their discard pile, they can one-shot a Blissey V with a Cape of Toughness on it. Otherwise, they only need, 3 Leon? Because it does 100 base damage and then 50 more for each Leon in your discard, so they would need 3. But they have nothing going on, so I'm going to Marnie them, and that's probably going to be the game. It would be nice. Hopefully they get something. You know, I don't want to just run them out of everything. Well, they haven't conceded yet, so I'll take that as a good sign. So let's drop the Porygon, and I guess I'll just put the Kricketune down. Yeah, I will need that. The Rare Candy. Do I even bother with Kricketune? Let's not. Let's just see what happens, right? Got a powerful energy on that guy. So let's see if Blissey V can stand up to this Charizard deck. I really hope they have something going on, because I do want to see this matchup. I want to see Blissey V against a single prize Pokemon. But while they're doing that, I will talk about the deck. Whether you should go first or second, I don't think it really matters. If you go first, you have a chance to, get a Porygon on turn 2. Your first turn attacking. Blissey V is a wall, it's a tank. It can take a hit. With all these VMAX decks running around, there's their first Leon. With all these VMAX decks running around, odds are, they're not going to do a whole lot turn 1 with their first turn to attack anyway, but because tag teams still exist, it's tough to say. Yay, they got a Charizard! So it's tough to say. I think going first or second doesn't really matter. It's just how well do you draw. But, I think I would recommend going second. I know it hurts your chances of getting that Porygon-Z early, but I think with this deck, you want to just have your Porygon-Z late. Blissey V is not going down turn 1 unless it's through weakness. So it's going down maybe turn 2. You're going to get an attack off. You just sort of want to send up a Blissey, let it get knocked out, and then just figure your way through there while you're building up stuff on the bench. So I think going second, being able to attack right off the bat is really good, because you could knock out like a 60 hit point Pokemon with the powerful Colorless Energy and Blissful Blast. And then if you manufacture a way to get 3 energy in the discard, then your Blissey V is just powered right up right off the bat. And you can just start swinging for big damage on turn 2. So I think 150, well, this Charizard's going down. And there is literally no point to me attaching the Cape of Toughness to the one in the active. The Porygon, I guess I'll just Erika's first, and then I'll put the Wondrous Labyrinth down. There's Capture. Well, I didn't get what I needed. How much damage am I doing anyway? So 40, 90, 140, so just enough. Capture energy. Let's put another Blissey down. Why not? So I will evolve, and then we will drop the Wondrous Labyrinth. I could Quick Ball away the Recycle energy and go for something. I could go for a Crobat or something and try to get the Porygon-Z, but I'm taking the knockout, so I don't think it's a huge deal. And yes, with this deck, you have to do math. My arch nemesis, I know. Another Cape of Toughness, so it's going to be very difficult for them. They're going to have to be able to string Charizards together. This card is good. It sucks the energy acceleration isn't going to be very good post-rotation. So you will have to put experience share in your Charizard deck. But it's only 2 energy to do potentially 300 damage. Battle Sense draws you cards. So I think this will be a very, not very good. It'll be a good budget deck post-rotation. I don't think Cinccino's the right partner, though. I think you just want to have like Snorlax and just like Jirachi, just some single prizer to help you draw cards. Cinccino, you're sort of playing both sides there. Charizard is going to be your Cinccino, right? Charizard is going to be what draws you cards. You get to look at 3 and pick 1 and discard the rest. So I don't think you want to have Cinccino. You want to have like, I guess just a Kricketune or something. But the Wondrous Labyrinth, that's putting in work already. If you're not a Fairy-type Pokemon, you have to spend an extra energy to attack. And yeah, Wondrous Labyrinth won me that game. My opponent still had a chance. They just had to string Charizards and get 4 Leon in the discard, and they had a very good chance of winning. But Wondrous Labyrinth, huge tech in the deck. You only play 2 Stadiums, 1 Chaotic Swell, 1 Wondrous Labyrinth. Wondrous Labyrinth is insane. If your opponent can't deal with this, they might just not be able to attack for a turn, and that's really good. So let's go to game 2 and see if I can get a Porygon-Z up and running. Well, this is horrible. I decided to let my opponent go first. That was a mistake. So let's Pokecom. I can't really do anything. So I'm going to Pokecom that away. I can't Dedenne, I can't Crobat, I can't Kricketune. So I'm just going to do that. I guess I'm going to Digicharge. That'll be fun. So Cape of Toughness goes there. Lucky Energy goes there. Yeah. I guess I could bosses the Snom and just hope that the final card in their hand isn't... Yeah, that's where I'm at. I just gotta hope that the final card isn't something they can use. And Digicharge time. Okay, okay. Let's Digicharge. So capture energy and yeah, I guess powerful colorless energy makes sense because I could knock out the Snom. So the reason I play the 50 HP Porygon instead of the 60 HP Porygon, yes, against Dragapult, you're in huge trouble, but Digicharge can just get you 3. Well, here we go. Okay. Digicharge can just get you what you need. So I will Evolution Incense first, go get a Porygon-Z just to be safe. Hope that I get one of my, only 2 Rare Candy. I might want to go for a Porygon2 then. And then just retreat right off the bat. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. And don't worry, I will retreat first. So retreat, they don't have their Snom, so that's good for me. I will put the Hapu, and let me guess, Porygon-Z. Oh, I didn't, okay. So I think Erika's Hospitality, I don't need the Ordinary Rod because no one's getting knocked out ever, right? Capture Energy, Quick Ball. I guess I go with Pokémon? Question mark? Sure, let's do that. Sure, and then I'll Quick Ball away the Pokémon to go get, I guess, another Porygon just to be safe. Because I don't have my abilities. My opponent has seen to that. Hopefully they just took themselves out of the game as well. You know, path to the peak giveth, path to the peak taketh away. And so Erika's Hospitality, hopefully you're going to see that put in work right here. More Lucky Energy, drawing more cards, but Erika's, if you have 4 or fewer other cards in your hand, draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. If they drop a couple more Pokemon, I'm drawing 5 cards. That's nuts. Wow, so yeah, they shouldn't have put the path to the peak down. And I'll drop the capture energy there just so I can get a Blissey out of the deck right off the bat. Cape of Toughness, I hope they're not playing Tool Scrapper. And another Cape of Toughness, okay. So this is going really well. You know, Blissey V looks really good when your opponent doesn't have anything going on. Ice Rider Calyrex is definitely scary for this deck because Blissey V has 250, Ice Rider does 250, so your Cape of Toughness has to stick. Are they just completely out of it? Because did they lock themselves out of their own game? You know, this is why Crobat V and Dedenne and Kricketune and just support Pokemon are so important. I can't knock out the Snom. I can potentially knock out the Ice Rider. Oh yeah, I gotta be... So Ride of the High King does more damage for each of my bench Pokemon, and that's what they have to use right now. Unless they have a Water Energy, but I think they attached with the capture. Okay. So they're knocking out my Porygon2, and that's what I was afraid of. But that's totally fine, because it does not help their prize trade. And they didn't even put any damage on the Blissey. So they've gone... They still have to knock out 3 Blissey V, which is fine for me. So is there any reason... There's no reason to bench anybody else. So do I... So 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 170. So I think I just put the powerful energy there. And then just... I'm two-shotting the Ice Rider, and I have to hope that they just don't have it. Because I didn't have a very good hand. Path to the Peak is ruining my life right now. And they finally got a Frostmoth. So while they're doing that, I'll mention that a Blissey V deck... Oh, geez. Okay, well, now they're off to the races. So, a Blissey V deck, don't get Tool Scrapper. Don't get Tool Scrapper. Get a supporter. Just get yourself... There we go. So, a Blissey V deck finished in 21st at that 400-plus player tournament. But that list was just 4 copies of Blissey V and literally nobody else. It can definitely win, but I prefer the damage capability of this build. Plus, with that other one, you can find yourself in really awkward hands and have no way out of them. I mean, if I just had this hand with that other build, there's nothing I could do. You know, I can't go get a Crobat or a Dedenne or a Kricketune. I mean, yes, obviously there's Path to the Peak there. But, you know, just this deck has more versatility. You could also, in this build that I'm playing that I built, you could put in a double V, just because double V can do a lot of damage at the very end of the game for only 3 energy, whereas with Blissey you have to sort of, just keep building, building, building. So double V is something to think about. I think it does, what, 270 if your opponent's taken 5 prizes? And are they just softening me up with the Sobble? Double spin? Are they gonna double spin? Or are they just switching and retreating? Okay, they're just switching and retreating, I think. No, they're not. What? They're gonna use double spin to soften me up. Oh, and it didn't work. So it only did 20 damage, so I'm in a great position. I drew a card, but it's not the card I wanted to draw. So I think I'm just gonna use Powerful Energy and take a knockout, and now all I have to do is knock out the Ice Rider, and that's game. And it's damaged. And they can't knock me out unless they get rid of my Cape of Toughness. So yes, I know that my opponent had a bit of a sluggish start. But I mean, look at what is happening. Blissey V has 300 hit points with a Cape of Toughness on it. And this is one of the top decks right now out there. Just because it can do 250 damage for 2 energy. This is a top deck, and it's struggling to take a knockout on Blissey V. Even if my opponent was just running on all cylinders, they're playing this Inteleon that gets them 2 trainer cards. They're not playing the one that snipes damage. Oh, that's fun. Maybe they'll put me into my Wondrous Labyrinth and they'll regret their decision to stamp me. But this is the thing with Blissey. When it works, it's a lot of fun. When it doesn't, you're like, why am I even playing this? So I would recommend it if you're looking for a nice little budget deck, because Blissey V, on day 1, it was going for like 1 Chilling Rain pack. It's actually risen after people have had some time to play with it. So if you're looking for a budget deck that isn't Shadow Rider Calyrex, which is like 150 to 200 packs to build, then go for it. Okay, I'm not sure what their game plan is, and is that a bosses for game? So let's Evolution Incense, just go get a Porygon-Z. So 30, 60, 90, yeah, because I did 180 last turn, and I'm doing 180, so that is just a resounding win for my CV against Ice Rider. I know, again, I'm going to reiterate that was not an optimal game for my opponent. They didn't draw very well. They pathed to the peak themselves, but, I'll take it. Anytime Blissey V can win, I will take it. Did they play? And yeah, that's the problem with not playing just a Pokemon you can go and get and just draw you cards. Yes, my opponent's deck is designed to be consistent with what it has, but without Crobat or Dedenne, if you put yourself in one of those positions where you just don't have a good starting hand, you can't climb back. So let's go to game 3 and keep this streak alive. So I have some good news. My opponent is also playing Blissey. What the freak is this hand? Okay. So I just have to do nothing, apparently. Wow. Okay. I was excited for a mirror match. And then I get this. So I can't really do anything. I just have to Blissey. Put the Blissey up front. Let it take a hit. Hope they don't bosses my Porygon. And yeah, so this could have been a great matchup if I can just get a research or a Dedenne or something. My opponent, oh, there they go. I wanted to put the Cape of Toughness on the Porygon, but I was like, there's no way they just have the bosses, right? So they're going to be able to draw a card. That's annoying. Oh, and there's the quick ball. That is just insult to injury right there. So do I just... I guess I just have to hope that there's... Oh man, is there another Rare Candy in the deck? There is. Okay, so that's fine. They're not going to have much more in the way of bosses orders, so I think I'll be okay on that front. But that... I got greedy. I'll admit it, I got greedy. I should have put the Cape of Toughness on the Porygon. Yeah, so let's Chaotic Swell. I think I want to... let's Hapu. Why not? See if I can get the Rare Candy in my hand. So bosses and Marnie. I guess I just go for Quick Ball and get another Blissey. Okie dokie. So I want to put the other Lucky Energy into play just so I can draw more cards. You know, the problem with playing that 4 Blissey V build is that you can't draw your way out of it. You know, I'm drawing my way hopefully out of this one. So I'll get 2 Lucky Energy and probably the powerful colorless energy. Because if I can attach another powerful, I think I'm doing quite a bit of damage. Maybe I should have grabbed the recycle. No, I think, yeah, Path to the Peak. Thank you, Chaotic Swell. I'm gonna miss you when you're gone. So they have Hapu. If they can't get another Blissey V and they hit into me, I can win on the next turn. But there's a Crushing Hammer. Don't flip. Oh, crap. Please tell me I'm drawing at least one card. Come on. Nope, they got a Quick Ball. All right, so Blissey V is also really good in Expanded. I messed around with Blissey V and Expanded, and I actually really enjoyed it because you have Battle Compressor and you have double colorless energy. They only did 70 damage? That's insane. Okay. And there's a Recycle Energy. Okay. Well, there's another Blissey. I guess I just hit the other one because it doesn't have any energy on it, I guess. And I just hope they don't have a switch. Sure, let's do that. Let's have some fun. 190, and you're just seeing the damage ramp up here. So yeah, just get everything. And if they do happen to switch and hit into me, that's fine. I'll be drawing 2 cards plus my top deck. I don't think they can get a knockout. And again, you're seeing my issue with the 4 Blissey V build. They're not gonna be able to get any energy into play. Like, you're attaching and then attaching from the discard. That's it. There's no supporter in this deck to help you just draw a ton of cards. It's just, you got what you got. Good luck. And I don't really like that. You know, and if you don't have, because Blissey V has a 4 retreat cost, you're not really going to play Switch because you only play 4 Blissey V, so who cares? And I'm drawing 2 cards. I just need a Porygon at the end of the game. Like I said, you don't need a Porygon-Z at the beginning. You need, oh man, you need one at the end. Oh, jeez. Okay, so I don't think I want to put Kricketune down just because they play Path to the Peak. Oh, geez. Did I end up getting rid of it? Yeah, I did get rid of that Cape of Toughness. Okay, so Blissful Blast. I could have retreated and spared this Blissey. I guess that would have been not a horrible decision. I could have retreated, put the powerful colorless energy on the active one, because they don't have a Cape of Toughness on that one. There's Wondrous Labyrinth, and there's Cape of Toughness. Okay, so that nothing's really working out for me in this game. So yeah, I guess what I should have done is I should have retreated, attacked with a fresh one, I guess. But would that have even been smart? Because they still have to knock out 3, and there's a Tool Scrapper. That's fine. I think they were probably taking the knockout. Oh, stop with the freaking Crushing Hammer. Okay, good. They flip tails. I'm gonna draw 2 cards. I'm gonna get Rare Candy. Oh, they wouldn't have had a knockout. Wonderful. So I have to knock this guy out. It's as simple as that. I draw 2 cards. Well, I could potentially get a Porygon. I guess I'll just go for it. Come on, deck. That's not what oh man, if I put the Kricketune down. Okay. There's Path to the Peak, so I guess I just have to get rid of everything in my hand that I can. Cape of Toughness. We got an Air Balloon there. We have a powerful energy there. All right, Crobat, bail me out of this. Give me 2 cards and let them be the only 2 cards that I actually need. 2 cards. I believe in you, Crobat. 20 left. Just need Rare Candy Porygon. Oh, Rare Candy Porygon. Jeez. So Rare Candy, and is Ordinary Rod even worth it? Not at this point. So yeah, this was a big bust. I'm just going to hit into it and yeah. So Lucky Energy 1-2. Yep, there we go. Well, I know I talked a big game about Blissey, but you're seeing the problems. You know, Blissey V, it's not tier 1, it's low tier 2. It has consistency issues. You know, if I would have just been able to knock out this frickin' Blissey in the active, the game is completely different. If I could just get a Porygon-Z, this is what happens in so many of the games. You're like, why am I just never drawing a Porygon? What is this? So if I can just figure something out. There's Cricket. Are you kidding me? 9 cards left. 2 of them are Porygon-Z. And I would just win if I got a Porygon-Z. Oh my. Do you see this? Okay, so I don't even think I can do anything here. So I'll just put a Blissey back in the deck. Can I even let's put a Lucky Energy there. Yeah, I can't actually do anything. And I just needed... No. Don't do this to me. I talked you up so much, Blissey. So at the very least, you saw. Let me just put 4 Lucky Energy on this thing. No, it was not well played. That was sad. That was sad. How do I have 9 cards left? 2 of them are Porygon, and this is the downside to playing Recycle Energy is that Erika's Hospitality doesn't activate, Kricketune V doesn't activate. Oh, and of course I get it on the 3rd Lucky Energy. Oh man, that was an embarrassing loss. But yeah, they're just playing the build that finished in 21st. It's just 4 Blissey. That was disappointing. Let's go to game 4. Let's try and get a win. So this is a pretty disappointing start for me, but I will be able to get a Blissey. I can Hapu. I can put some damage on the Spiritomb, and this Spiritomb is just to protect against Mad Party. It does more damage counters for the more Pokemon in your opponent's discard pile. So I'm guessing this is Eternatus, and they just put the Spiritomb in there to help with the Mad Party matchup. But come on, I'm determined to have a good game with Blissey. Is that so difficult? I can't Quick Ball the Erika's Hospitality because I need that, but I also need the Switch. I also need the Cape of Toughness because Eternatus can do 270. So I guess I just... Okay, there's Black Market. I guess I just Quick Ball the Lucky Energy and then hope that I get an energy off the Hapu. But I can tell you right now, this Hapu is going to screw me big time. Oh wow, so they're just off to the races. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I will go get the Blissey first, just to be safe. So let's get Blissey. I have 3 Porygon. I have 1 Porygon, 1 Porygon-Z. What could possibly go wrong? And you will be asking yourself that all the time with this deck. Do I draw 5 or do I get 2 and potentially put more energy in the discard? I think I put more energy in the discard. Wondrous Labyrinth is useless. The capture energy is important. The Kricketune is also kind of useless, actually, to be honest. Erika's Hospitality will be really good. So I think I just go for Quick Ball and just have my bench just figured out. Let's get a Porygon. Yeah, ditch the Lucky Energy, and just get another Porygon. Do I have my Air Balloon? I do. Okay, so I'm gonna have 2 Porygon. They're not gonna be playing the Zigzagoon because they have the Weavile and the Spiritomb, so I'm not worried about that. So if they don't play Zigzagoon and they don't play Tool Scrapper, there's no way they can knock out my Blissey next turn. Not that they necessarily need to, because they could just use Power Accelerator, put that 30 damage on it, put me in the 270 range, and that way I can't take 3 prizes. So it would be in their best interest to not do this unless they play Tool Scrapper. If they play Tool Scrapper, then it's fine. But I have definitely found in my testing that Blissey V is a plus matchup against Eternatus, just because Eternatus tops out at 270. Yes, you can manipulate that with Galarian Zigzagoon, but it tops out at 270. Erika's Hospitality is just insane in this deck against Eternatus. And, I mean, Eternatus, it doesn't really have a good way of dealing with it. You can't play a fighting Pokemon to hit for that weakness. There's just not a ton you can do. Wondrous Labyrinth is really bad for Eternatus as well. Galarian Moltres, it's slightly annoying, but again, it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess if they played Greninja and Zoroark, it could matter. But for the most part, you have a plus matchup against Eternatus, so if you're playing against Eternatus a lot, give Blissey V a shot. Because your opponent, I mean, they can't... If your opponent knocks out a single prizer on the first turn they can attack, that is totally fine. You know, obviously it's not ideal when your opponent takes a knockout, but they still have to take 3 knockouts to win the game if they knock out a single prizer. So I always talked about counting your opponent's prizes for them. You don't play a single 3 prizer in this deck, and if they knock out a Porygon, they go to 5. If they knock out 2 Blissey, they still have a prize left, so they've had to take 4 knockouts when they could have just taken 3. But just, you have to count your opponent's prizes. So losing a single prizer isn't the worst thing. I'm drawing 7 cards. That's beautiful. And the Lucky Energy bails me out as well. I won't bother. I know I have an Erika's Hospitality in the deck. That is awesome. And I don't have the freaking Rare Candy. Why does this game hate me? Okay, so dropping the Blissey. I could just go get Dedenne. You know, that is something I could do because I have the Pokécom. So I Pokécom that away. I go get... Oh, so that's what happened to you. Okay, so I'll just... I guess I'll keep the Porygon-Z in my hand and attach the Lucky Energy. So I'm not taking a knockout. That is unfortunate. Lucky Energy goes there. I will just go get a Blissey, I guess. So I'm 3-shotting an Eternatus VMAX because this deck never freaking cooperates. Ah, it's so maddening. Okay. Yeah, and this is why I wasn't terribly excited about having to refilm this, is you're seeing it play out live. Blissey V is extremely frustrating. Yes, I know. I know you're probably yelling at the screen, why don't you change this from the list? Why don't you change that from the list? I have changed the list so many times. Every time I change it, the card I took out would have saved me in the next match. And then I bring it back, and then it's like, well, this card was useless this match. Blissey V is very frustrating. It can be very fun because, you know, pretty much any Blissey deck, that one where you did 80 damage times coin flips, you just fill it up with energy and it's really fun. But it's also very frustrating because of coin flip. This one's frustrating because you need Porygon-Z. You saw that previous build of Blissey V with 4 Blissey V. It relies on consistency and your opponent stumbling, which obviously I did. But Blissey V and Expanded is really good because you have Battle Compressor and double colorless energy. So if you Battle Compressor 3 DCE, and then you have a DCE attached to it, you're swinging for over 250 damage on turn 2. There's also Counter Energy in Expanded, which acts as 2 energy when you're behind on prizes. There's also Scramble Switch in Expanded, which is just a switch, but then you can move all the energy from your active to the bench Pokemon you switch. So you can take a damaged Blissey, switch it for a fresh one. That's also insane. So if you want a cheap Expanded deck that can take wins, try Blissey. You just go 4 Blissey V. It's not difficult, just 4 Blissey V, 4 DCE, some counter energy, some capture energy, some weakness card energy, some powerful energy. You know, it's pretty straightforward. And that's not what bosses, so that is good. I doubt they're playing Escape Rope. I don't have a path to the peach, so there's nothing I can do about their bench. I just have to... They're switching. So they're going to switch into the fresh one. I can bosses the fresh one. I'm going to draw 2 cards. Yeah, what do I do? Because I'll have the Porygon-Z. This is why I added the Porygon2. Again, you're probably questioning this. I added the Porygon2 because trying to get Porygon-Z and Rare Candy in your hand at the same time is pretty much impossible, as you saw in that previous game. I went down to, it was 7 cards left in deck. I finally got Porygon-Z. I know I'm ranting, but I mean, come on. It is nuts that I go that far into my deck to not actually get what I need. Oh, frustrating. But wow, they're really, what are they even digging for? Just another Eternatus? So these two have to be really good. It's as simple as that. How many bosses? I have one bosses left. So what they're probably going to do... Yeah, I guess I just have to hope that I get Erika's Hospitality. Are you kidding me? I get Rare Candy? Really? This deck hates me. There's a Porygon. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's nothing I can do because they play Weavile. So I can't actually do anything useful. I could hit into that one. That wouldn't do anything for me. I could double draw. Sure. Let's double draw. Why not? They're just gonna bosses. We all know that that's what's gonna happen. So I guess I do that. Do that. Sure, let's put the weakness card there, and let's draw 2 cards. Wonderful. The next 2 cards in my deck were the 2 cards that I think I'm just gonna retire Blissey V in Standard and just play it in Expanded. I've been having success in Expanded. It's just very straightforward. And they even have enough energy to just manually retreat this guy. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, and they got the bosses too. Okay. I am retiring the Blissey V deck. This is just... It is not my friend today. I don't really know why they did that. So I'm just going to... How many recycle energy do I have down? Well, let's see what happened. There's a capture energy, so I will attach the capture energy. Will I do that? Who knows? Let's do that. Let's clear the Mew out of there. How many bosses are there? 2 bosses, so there's a chance they don't get it. I need to just be able to knock this dude out and get my Cape of Toughness and survive. So let's do that. Treat, do I even have enough? Let me guess. I'm not even going to do the math, but let me guess. The deck's going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going to help you out here. I have 2 Porygon-Z on the field. I don't even know when the last time that was. Okay. And it's not... Oh man. Okay. No, it was not close. You had this game from... Oh. How you're just watching my slow decline into insanity here. Just previous game can't get any Porygon-Z, this game 2 Porygon-Z, but I'm an energy short. I don't even know at this point. Can someone please explain to me how I'm this unlucky with this deck? This deck is supposed to be good. It's supposed to be fun. I want to make a video about this. I want to entertain. And then this happens. Believe it or not, I could still actually win, which is kind of hilarious, but I would need something. So I would need my Blissey V. Alternatively, I could just... They're probably going to manually retreat. I could just retreat, Psi Power this Eternatus with the Mew. And then if for some reason they don't have a bosses, then I win, which would be absolutely hilarious. So I'm gonna stick it out. If they don't have a bosses, this would be the most hilarious finish. Okay. If they don't have a bosses, I win. Which would be insane. Oh, are you kidding me? Just everything I need. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okie dokie. Put the recycle energy there. Reload this guy. How many cards do I have? 9? Okay. Yep, we're just going for it. So if they have a tool scrapper, they win. If they have a bosses, they win. I mean, I still have some juice in the deck if they Marnie me, but I need this guy to stay in my hand for me to have a chance at winning. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. No, don't tell me you have the bosses. But wait, well, but if they had bosses, they could have just knocked out my Crobat last turn. So did they just not see, did they use a supporter last turn and I didn't notice it? Because I was too busy just experiencing, doom. I mean, do you have bosses? If you knock out the Mew, it goes back. Oh, come on, no Crobat shenanigans here. They have Zigzag. How do they find space in the deck for these things? They got the Sneasel, they got the Weavile, they got the Spiritomb, they got the Moltres, they got everything. Plus Zigzagoon. That can't. Are they going to? Oh my! Come on. They're thinning their deck. If just give them some bad luck, please. RNG, please help me out. What's the heart? Don't. Nope. Like, oh no. How? How? Uh, how do they have so much? They had an Umbreon and Darkrai. They had two Zigzagoon. How do they have all this stuff in their deck and it was so consistent and... I'm retiring the Blissey V deck. This is just too much for my brain to handle. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. I don't know what the deck will be after this. It won't be Blissey. I'll see you next time.